In 2014, 12% of people in the UK identified themselves as either vegan or vegetarian. 20% of them were 16 to 25-year-olds. From this, it is clear to see that these lifestyles are very popular, with no signs of slowing down anytime soon. But why is this? How are restaurants and shops catering to this audience, and what exactly defines a vegan and vegetarian lifestyle? I've always been a meat eater, but I'm going to be conducting an experiment. I'll be spending 2 weeks on a vegan-only diet to see just how difficult or easy the transition is. I'm Rachael Lowes, and this is Becoming Vegan. Before I started my vegan diet, I needed to find out exactly what defines a vegan. And to do this, I went to visit Rachael Lowes, a nutritionist, to get all the information I'll need to begin my journey. And what actually is a vegan?
So vegan, typically they classify themselves as pure vegetarians. So a vegetarian will still eat dairy products and eggs. The vegan removes those, and they're very particular about things like wearing leather, any foods or processes involved in foods such as food additives. We find that things like a lot of cheese and onion crisps, for example, will contain meat products, meat extracts, so they'll try and remove those from the diet as well. So anything related to animals, either production of eggs, production of milk, is removed from the diet.
What advice would you give to a meat eater or a vegetarian who wanted to become a vegan?
Any dietary change is difficult for our body to take on board. We don't like change. The human body doesn't like change, and so to change any diet even slightly will have side effects, and I would probably talk to them about, you're likely to experience changes in energy levels, you're likely to have problems with your digestion, so either experiences of diarrhea or constipation are quite common when we change a diet.
Would you say that being vegan is in any way more healthy than being a meat eater or a vegetarian?
There is evidence that because of the level of control that's required, the level of thought that has to go into a vegan diet, if it's balanced, if it ticks all those boxes, they're getting the right amount of vitamin D, riboflavin, vitamin B12, considering their iron carefully, then it's thought to have health benefits over other diets, because they're likely to be less saturated fats. We know there's a direct link between saturated fat intake and high cholesterol, ultimately links to heart disease. So in terms of heart and cardiovascular health, there are benefits if it's controlled.
Using what I had learned from the nutritionist, I felt I was ready to start the experiment. But first, I needed to do some shopping to prepare for my vegan diet. Just looking at the salad dressings, a lot of the oil-based dressings seem to have no milk, eggs or anything in it, so it seems to be suitable for vegans, whereas it's the creamier sauces like a Caesar dressing that seem to have the eggy, milky products in. So looking at microwavable products like this, we've got a cheaper version here which has got milk protein in it, so obviously isn't suitable for a vegan. On the other hand, this vegetarian 3-bean and chipotle pepper is a more expensive product which seems to be gluten-free, vegan-friendly. So it seems like at the minute vegan-friendly foods are a bit more expensive. So far I'm actually finding it really hard to find products which are suitable for vegans. Even products like this tomato soup have got things like milk in it. So I'm thinking maybe it's a process of perhaps having to make your own things from scratch if you want to know that it's fully vegan. So we've got brands like this Naked Bar, which are marketed to be gluten, wheat and dairy free, so they are suitable for vegans. There are also other brands. It seems like shops like Tesco's have sections aimed at these dietary requirements. So we've come to the frozen section and instantly we found two products which are suitable for vegans. This first one's a free-from product, which is gluten, wheat and dairy free, which means, as it says here, that it's suitable for vegetarians and vegans. And the second one has a nice big stamp saying that it's vegan on it, and it's a nice bean burger. After visiting Tesco, I found that it was actually quite difficult to distinguish between products that were vegan and products that were vegetarian or suitable for another diet. Some of the Tesco brand products had a big white V on them, which indicates that they are vegan friendly. However, some of the products had a smaller white V and are only suitable for vegetarians. Meanwhile, other big brands didn't state whether or not they were suitable for vegans. With this confusing packaging and lack of vegan-friendly foods, there must be another way of finding vegan foods rather than visiting the supermarket. When I got home from the supermarket, I decided to get straight to cooking my first vegan meal. I had some vegan pasta sauce and added some peppers, then prepared my vegan pasta. Not having meat in a meal like this is completely new to me, and it will take some getting used to. But for now, this quickly made meal will do, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. So I've just got back to the house and I've decided to make myself something to eat. I've just made a simple pasta sauce with tomatoes and vegetables with a little bit of seasoning in it. The thing I'm most interested to try is the vegan pasta, because I'm not sure if it's going to be the same as normal pasta. I've heard that free-from pastas are kind of a bit more chewy, let's say. So we'll just see how that goes later on. Okay, so I finished my first day. The meal I had today was actually alright. The pasta tasted pretty much the same as normal pasta. The only thing I would say is that the meal wasn't quite as filling as a meat-filled meal. As far as shopping vegan goes, I think supermarkets don't make it that easy. Sometimes a product will say suitable for vegetarians when actually it is suitable for vegans as well, or it will say it's suitable for a vegan and actually it's a product that may contain milk. So it's not that easy. I think you've got to have your head on, and I think if you wanted to do online shopping it would be quite hard. So I think perhaps kind of fresh produce is the way to go for being a vegan, rather than trying to go around a supermarket and find products that are ready made for you, which perhaps is quite a hard challenge if you don't kind of like really believe in vegan ethics. So today has been my first full day. It's been quite an adjustment. For breakfast I had the wheat-free, dairy-free, gluten-free muesli I had with soy milk. It was interesting to say the least. It sort of tasted like flour. So I'm not sure that that's an adjustment I could make permanently. For lunch I just had a jacket potato with baked beans on it, which is something that I normally have anyway, so that wasn't too bad. And dinner was just kind of like a quick stick some chips and vegan sausages in the oven. So actually
on the whole, it wasn't that bad. I think breakfast was the main thing that sort of threw me off to start with. Hopefully tomorrow's going to be a bit better.
Having started my vegan journey, I decided to seek out what places besides supermarkets stocked food for people living this lifestyle. I came across a local independent shop run by Linda Wardale, who, as well as running the shop, is also a vegan herself. Why did you decide to set up a shop with such a niche audience?
Well, initially it was a problem when you're doing shopping. Imagine a family of 4 and we're all vegans, and I had to go all over Lincoln trying to get the bits and pieces that we needed. And I used to say, why can't one shop stock it all? And then when the opportunity came for me to actually get somewhere that did it, I gave up my job, ploughed all my savings into it and took over this place.
Do you have a constant flow of customers who are wanting to change their lifestyle?
A lot of people are doing, and because there was Veganuary this year, and a lot of people have switched their diets, have literally gone vegan overnight as a result of that. And I think a lot of celebrities, they've gone vegan, so it's in the media, and there's the health benefits and animal welfare element to it, which a lot of people are becoming aware of now.
And how do you feel you compare to bigger specialists such as Holland & Barrett who cater towards people on these diets?
Well, they do sell similar things to we do, but they tend to major on supplements and that kind of thing, whereas we're more on the whole food and health food. And of course I make cakes on site as well, so that's something that we do a little bit different to the other stores.
Can you tell us a little bit about the background of the shop and why you became vegan yourself?
Well, I became vegan because of health reasons and obviously animal welfare. And the idea was born because there wasn't a proper place where we could get everything that we needed. And then this place, it's been a health food shop. It's always been, 30 years it's been a health food shop. And I used to shop here, and when the chap retired, I thought, let's give it a go.
What do you feel the general public's reaction is towards a shop such as your own?
They love it. I mean, we've got something for everybody. You know, you don't have to be vegan to come into the shop. We've got locally made produce that's suitable for vegans as well. I mean, it's not just what you eat, it's what you wear, the soaps, shampoos, that sort of thing. So, yeah, we've got something for everybody.
Do you believe that lifestyles such as the vegan diet are on the rise?
Definitely, definitely. And of course, a lot of people have got allergies as well. So that's where, egg-free, dairy-free diets, people are going looking for vegan diets and things.
Do you believe that chain restaurants are catering enough towards people on a vegan diet?
I think they're moving towards it more. I have worked with some of the hotels in the area, and they do a vegan option. Obviously, you have to tend to ring up and book in advance. But yeah, they are moving towards people with dietary needs.
And finally, do you believe that there has been a rise in people picking up these lifestyles, or you just not feel that it's had the media attention that it needs?
I think it's on the up. I mean, we've been here nearly 4 years, and the people that have changed their diets, my customers that have changed their diets has been quite immense. And more people are coming from far afield and saying, I've changed my diet, I've gone vegan, or vegetarian, meat eaters that have gone vegetarian, or even people that are reducing their meat intake. They're looking for alternatives.
After talking with Linda, I decided to test whether these vegan cakes really are as good as the real thing. So I talked to people on the high street to see what they think.
I'm not going to bite it because I'll just end up with... that's really nice.
It's really good. What do you think?
Really nice.
Could you tell that was a vegan cake with no egg or butter in it?
No, there's no egg or butter.
No, it's made with soya.
Probably a little bit drier at the top, I would say.
Right.
Well, that's maybe because it's not got the butter and...
I could not. I definitely could not.
No, not at all. It tastes like cake. that makes sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like it's anything special. No, it tastes amazing.
So having spoken to Linda, who owns this vegan shop here in Lincoln, and having taste tested members of the public on vegan foods, I think it's easy to say that vegan foods can be just as tasty as meat foods, foods that aren't vegan friendly, and that maybe going to a supermarket is not the option, and doing general fresh cooking with fresh ingredients from scratch is the option for somebody on a vegan diet.
So it's Friday. It's the end of the first week. I'm starting to feel a little bit lethargic now. I think not having dairy and meat is a big adjustment to my diet. Very big adjustment, and it's kind of starting to take its toll on me a bit. So I'm finding that I'm having to eat a little bit more to get the kind of like energy that I need. But then there's probably less calories in the things I eat, so it probably balances that out. So we'll just see how it goes. We'll see if I've lost weight, put on weight, maintained my weight at the very end of the week on Sunday. It's Saturday and I've just got back from work. I think going to work and taking a packed lunch has been a bit of a challenge. I was struggling to kind of like find something I could eat, because normally I'd take a sandwich and that would have kind of like a meat filling with something like mayonnaise in it. So that's a big difference, is that I had to find something else to eat. So I had some cereal bars, like fruit-based cereal bars, and just like some nuts and a couple of other kind of like snacky things, but enough to make a lunch. I think that's the biggest challenge to me. So I've got work again tomorrow, so hopefully I can think of something else to have.
After I had started my vegan journey, I wondered why other people have chosen to live this way. Unlike me, full-time vegans live this lifestyle 24/7. I wondered what the reasons for this were, and met with some vegans to find out more. So why did you decide to take up this lifestyle?
Yeah, for me it was just really eating animals and meat. Never, from about 4 or 5, it just didn't sit well with me. So I'd always want to go vegetarian kind of thing, but I never really stuck at it. Then once I turned 16, I thought it really didn't sit well with me. I didn't enjoy the thought of eating meat. I only did it for habit and taste. So I thought I'm going to commit to it. I went vegetarian, and as soon as I went vegetarian, I sort of started realising that the milk industry and whatnot are exactly the same, and it links together very strongly. So I just made that immediate commitment just to go straight vegan. So for me, it was just, I didn't agree with the whole situation of that whole animal industry.
Yeah, I think for me it's kind of quite opposite. I turned vegan about a year ago now, and it was all from watching. I was a meat eater, like loved eating meat, cheese, milk, whatever. And I watched a film called Vegucated that was about follow these 3 people that try and change their diet to help their health and for the environment and for the animal rights issues. And I was like, well, why not give it a go? So I did. I literally, overnight, I went from being a meat eater to not eating any animal products at all.
Did you find the transition from meat eater to vegan quite a difficult thing?
I personally didn't know, because I was so committed to it, and for years I'd sort of been building up to it. As soon as I did it, I just went straight for it. I had no sort of temptations at start, but the big help for me was my parents helped me out a lot. I've heard some people had no backing from the parents, so they had to go out and do their own shopping and discover everything, where I had my parents who would help me cook. They were as interested in me, so they were helping me stay healthy through that first stage to fully find out everything about it. So yeah, it was a really easy transition.
So you said that your parents were quite supportive. In other areas, did you find the transition into veganism quite troubled? Did you have any other difficulties?
Yeah, I think university is quite a difficult place to be vegan sometimes. Like if you go out for the night and then go home and get a takeaway, your options are chips or nothing. But the other day I had ordered takeout from pizza from Papa John's, and they did it without cheese. No problem, it was really nice. So I think you've just got to make a bit more of an effort to find the alternatives.
So, do you not think that vegetarianism is enough then?
I personally don't at all. I understand why some people will go vegetarian and just be happy with that, because I thought that's how I would, but once I went vegetarian I started seeing how the dairy industry pretty much keeps the meat industry sustainable. So when a milk cow gives birth, that's where veal comes from. So the veal industry is straight from the milk industry, and then the same with keeping the chicken industry sustainable is by having the egg industry giving birth to either male hens or I've got the terminology wrong, but male chickens or female chickens. So those male ones will keep the chicken industry alive, and those female ones will just be caged up and kept in the egg industry.
It's Tuesday night. Me and a few of my friends went to Weatherspoons tonight to eat, and I found that really, really hard because I found that a lot of the options that were vegetarian, even if I took out things like mayonnaise, cheese, stuff like that, I thought I couldn't guarantee whether or not that was going to be vegetarian. So the socialised, like going out for a meal, I think with people who eat meat was really, really difficult for me, especially going from somebody who eats meat, being used to being able to choose all those options, being able to eat whatever I wanted at a restaurant was really quite a big change. So I ended up basically just having sides again, like I did the first time I went and ate out, and it was just like it was just really hard. It was just really hard to kind of like keep that self-control as well. And then I ate an onion ring, and then it wasn't until later when I thought, oh, what if they dip that in egg? So it's just like normal things that I would normally eat are just cut off. So it's quite a big change. It's Wednesday. Today's been quite good actually. I've had more time because my big deadline's passed, so I've had much more time to think about what I was eating. So I've been able to kind of like think about it, and a lot of the things I've eaten today have been pretty much exactly the same as what I would normally have, except that they've just got a vegan substitute for the meat in it. So that's been really good today actually. I haven't really felt like I've been vegan today, even though I have. So yeah, I'm hoping that now I've got more time it's going to be much better. If these 2 weeks have taught me anything, it's that major dietary changes, such as becoming vegan from being a meat eater, are not to be entered into lightly. I've spoken to people who have made that change, such as the people who run the Vegetarian and Vegan Society at the university, and they seem to have perfect benefits from it. Personally, for me, it made me feel lethargic and tired, and it was a really, really big challenge. I think community within your dietary change is really important, which I learned from Linda at the Yellow Belly shop at the top of the hill in Lincoln. But I think the most important thing is just having something to believe in your dietary change. And I think for me, because I don't believe in the ethics behind veganism, that made it much harder.